Welcome to Igniting Inspired Insight, a space for real conversations with incredible humans. I'm your host, Jay, a teacher, guide, and student of exploring and empowering energy. In each short episode, we get to ask 3 questions, as you know, and they open the space for truth, trust, and the kind of insight that comes from simply being human. So let's begin. Today, I get to share time and kōrero with a beautiful man who I've known for a few years now, and we weave in and out. And it's actually been a minute since we've had a sweat because we often meet in a sauna.
Mm.
So it is absolutely my honor to have you here, and I want to hand it over to you for those who are meeting you for the first time. I'm
Mm.
really honored to introduce Julian.
Mm.
And do you want to share with us who's Julian?
Who's Julian? Boy, I tell you, I think I've been waiting a long time for someone to ask that question. Because in my quiet moments, it's something that I ponder really deeply. Who am I? But I think when you peel back, or when I peel back all the layers in the quietness of my own self, in my own head, mostly in the car, actually,
Yeah.
when I'm driving, and sort of, um, I'm a divine impulse.
Mm.
I'm an impulse of the divine. Um, and then it kind of, my understanding of who I am kind of grows from there. So in one way, I am nothing. I am no thing. And I'm just so comfortable with that. I love that. I love being no thing.
Mm.
And then I'm a creative impulse. And then I am a spiritual essence or personality at a really subtle level with certain gifts and orientations. And then I am a creator. And then I have a personality and an ego. And that's when the shit hits the fan. And so
Signature.
And so for me, the interplay is always between those formulas, and then when it hits the prism of the ego, things can get really fucked up. Or or if I remember my divinity, things go incredibly well.
Yeah.
And then what I do in this world that I love is I'm a writer, an actor, a performer. And then I'm also a coach and a mentor, and more lately, a business advisor. So I see myself as a high performance coach. So I work with people who have really big projects and big visions. Mostly I align with people who have a global vision, and then I work with them creating teams to make their amazing projects happen. So, and I find that deeply fulfilling. So
Mm.
that's who I am today.
Today. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it might
Yes.
change tomorrow, but I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident most of those will stay the same.
I think most of those will stay the
Yeah.
same. Maybe that when it gets to the ego part might be quite divinely different or
Yes, yes,
indivine.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
And I have had the opportunity to weave on a very small scale into some of your artistry and some of your mentor work, and I can speak to it. It's very powerful.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So here we get to float into the first question, the
mm,
common thread.
mm,
So I get to ask you, Julian, what's one moment,
mm.
belief, or experience that changed the way you see the world?
Yeah. I've been really dancing with this question, and again, it's I think it's a question I've been dying to be asked, and it's not something that I tell many people, because I still find it kind of weird and kind of woo-woo. But it was in Easter in 1980, and I was
Mhm.
sitting in a meditation hall in an ashram in downtown Melbourne. And it was in the meditation where I received what's called Shaktipat, or an awakening, spiritual awakening, an initiation, where my Kundalini was awakened. Um, and I began to see life incredibly differently, that it wasn't this sack of sad, worried, traumatic experiences. It wasn't a problem to be solved. It wasn't a death sentence. And it wasn't what I had thought or felt it to be, that there was a whole layer and level of existence. And I now had the eyes to see that. I could see both forwards and backwards, up and down, and all around, whereas before it had been real tunnel vision, that I was troubled and had been dealt a really bad hand in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment of awakening at
Mm.
the most profound level. So I think about that experience every day, and I nurture that awakening, and I hold that like really, really dearly in the core of my being. It is the most generative space and place, way beyond the mind, way beyond thoughts and feelings, to a place of pure creativity, grace, and blessings. And that was the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's incredible. But
Mm,
when we look at it from the lens of how it changed the way you view the world, I want to ask, like, initially, like right in that first point in 1980, when that first
mm,
happened, how did that change? Because I imagine it's got, because it's with you every day, it's got many iterations and many shifts
mm.
and layers peel back. But right in that initial point, back then,
It was pure awe.
mm,
It was pure, unadulterated kind of what the fuck? Wow. And it was like coming out of a tiny little locked room out into this magical vista, as if I was standing at the top of the mountain and I could breathe fresh air, and there was just blue sky and sunlight and nature, and just the happiest experience of my life. Um, and I was in absolute awe at the splendor of it. It just, my mind stopped, and I just had to start recalibrating what I understood this life to be. Yeah.
and that's the medicine, right? And that's why, even though it's is a big chunk of distance between then and now, you're still describing it as though it was yesterday because it's such a
Mm.
felt and embodied
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
visceral like
Yeah.
experience that will always go with you.
Mm. Mm.
That's really special. Thank you for sharing. I do know that um, those experiences, I call them moments of impact.
Mm.
Though
Mm.
they, yeah, they stay with you in a way
Mm.
that you know that it was meant to be experienced
Mm.
because
Mm.
that's an energy and a remembering
Mm.
that, wow, you don't forget in this human experience.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Ah, with you and your experiences, I'm like already excited to hear where this answer goes. So we are now in the moment. And the question
Mm.
I have for you, Julian, is
Mm.
when do you feel most alive?
Oh, wow, 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 wow. What a great question. What a fantastic question. As I look out my window and I see the peaks of the remarkables and the grandeur and the majesty of the mountains and the blue sky and the green trees, and just take a moment to drop into the experience of being in the presence of nature and majesty. That is like an incredible moment of for me. And it's kind of filled with both grace and humility and awe.
Hmm.
And another thing that where I feel really, really switched on is when I meditate and drop into the zone where there's just like just pure happiness.
Mhm.
And you kind of go, yeah, this is the point of life. This is it. This is it. This is it. And again, it's just filled with such gratitude to be able to swim in that
Mhm.
place,
Mhm.
and just go, oh my God, this is the best part of my day right here, right now. And then just savoring that. And so my spiritual practices are really, really important to me.
Mhm.
Meditation, yoga nidra, contemplation, open-eyed meditation, like taking in the mountains and the sky. And it's about moving into a state of awe
Mhm. Yeah.
and just openness. And then to me, that's pure creativity. So with my work, I'm always waiting for those moments of awe, where really great ideas come from,
Mhm.
both within me and then with the people who I'm working with. So I would have to say moments of awe. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah. Which comes back
there's a
to that initial, experience that you shared with us in your first question. And so then in reflection, it's like that really is a source of creativity for you too,
yeah,
is to
yeah,
draw on
mm,
that awe and be
mm,
in what I hear is in the wonder of
mm,
life.
mm,
But what I also love and would love to reflect back to you, because I completely agree, but I don't know that I've ever spoken to anyone about this before. But you mentioned your spiritual practices and that contemplation is one of them. And I
mm,
completely agree. Like being in contemplation and reflection with self and
mm,
the awe or whatever, and the feeling of
mm,
that you're in and
mm,
the absurdity, but also the wonder of
mm,
the present moment
mm,
is such a powerful spiritual practice.
mm. Yes, 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 yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe, I mean, it's not, I don't even know that it's necessary to see it that way, but I just love that that's what you brought up as your spiritual practice because I feel that too. And that's
Mm,
where really things started to shift for me, is to come away from the doing and into the being.
mm. Yeah, the interplay between being and doing is really the place where I sit in relationship to my work. Is how are we being in
Mhm.
action?
Mhm.
And action is where most people shit their pants and then walk away from their purpose. Because what kicks in at that stage around action is ego.
Mhm.
And most people go, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, that just isn't me. Or, oh, no, 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 no. Or, no, that's not right. Oh, it's not the right time. Oh, the planets aren't aligning.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, no, if you're impulsed from that level of pure intelligence to follow a particular path, to create a certain thing, venture, project, initiative. And even if it's just, well, I want to be healthier and happier in my body, you
Mhm.
know, it's just so important you put action aligned with the impulse.
Mhm.
It's called being in action. Most human beings are slaves to their egos. And even people who are on a spiritual path, they're sometimes the worst because
Mhm.
it's like, because they can justify their inaction with, oh, astrologically or karmically, or just didn't feel right, you know, and all that kind of hogwash that comes along with that. It's like, it's really important to listen to the purity of your impulse. Most, most people, I think on the spiritual path, are kind of dealing with delusion, you
Yep.
know. And it's
Yep.
like, it's sad to see, given who we are as beings and what
Mhm.
we're truly capable of. I think it's sad. It's really
Yeah, I
sad.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. And there's an absence of contemplation there when you talk about justification.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
absence of really just
Yeah.
witnessing, observing self, which is a lot of what I do with my clients. It's like come away from the ego, come away from the
Yeah.
parading self and just
Mm,
observe. And when
mm,
you're in that contemplation of the why,
mm.
then you find that presence of self true.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Presence, I think, is, yeah, that's the critical piece.
Hmm.
Presence. presence, being present, the power that is in presence. It's like, that's the doorway, man, to receive, to be guided, to open into synchronicity and synergy. Because when we're present, that's when the universe dances with us.
Hmm.
If we're in our set beliefs or our set patterns, you're in a jail cell.
Yeah.
But once you step out of that and get curious, wow,
Yes.
what might I do? How might I deal with this? Wow, what might it look like if? Oh, wouldn't it be incredible if? Oh, I wonder what.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Those are the questions.
having a romance with curiosity. One of the, this is exciting. One of the things I've been exploring with my mastermind group is around brain science and brain function. And
Yeah.
there's a part of the brain called the habenula. And the habenula is the place where all of our past experiences around failure are stored.
Hmm.
And so as soon as we get a vision for something, the next thing that kicks in is the habenula. And the best way to, so that'll be telling you, oh no, it's not for you. Oh no, you can't. Or no, you don't have the resources. You don't have the time.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, yes, all the what ifs. The
Yeah.
habenula is the home of what if.
Hmm.
Um, and the way to deal with it is simply to be curious,
Love it.
and I know Thingy Bob, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember her. But anyway, she asked Katie Byron. That's right.
Yeah.
Invite you to be curious. Is
Yeah.
that true? Is
Hmm.
it always true? When might it not be true? What would happen if?
Hmm.
And so again, to be dealing with the habenula, but the habenula is something that's really misunderstood because at the moment, the personal development world is in love with the word trauma. Everything relates to a trauma. Everything comes back. We're all traumatized. But really, it's just a misunderstanding of the habenula. You know, we are not the brain and our system is not designed for achievement.
Hmm.
Our system, our hardwiring, we are hardwired to rest.
Yeah.
So anyone who achieves something or who does something, they're listening to something beyond the hard drive, which is the essence, which is spirit, which is the superconscious, which is our
Mhm.
purpose, our higher voice. And
Yeah.
so my work is to create alignment with that higher voice.
Mm.
Yeah, and then understanding everything that kind of can or might stand in the way of people achieving that.
Yeah, well, I think it even just helps to understand the mind, and I love that within my work too. But thank you for sharing about,
Mm,
the habenula. It's like just understanding that all the things you think aren't true.
mm,
Really, because
mm.
that's where most people are stuck, right? They're listening to the thoughts in
Yeah,
their head and making them
yes,
or
yes,
believing them instead of understanding this is a fear response or this is a newness response or this is a
yeah,
and I just love to help people find that understanding for themselves because then you can navigate the world in
yeah,
a different way.
yes, yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
And what I also love and what I wanted to share for those who are listening, because I remember when I was first sort of invited into contemplation, I was like, again, being in the doing, I was like, I don't
Mm,
know how to do that. And that sounds boring. And that,
mm,
it's like it was very restrictive because I didn't understand. It was all about doing. But to explain to those who are listening, the contemplation is in those questions you were asking.
mm,
Like, what could
mm,
go right? Like, what is it? Is that to explore? Why does it feel that way? Like, it just like the
mm, mm,
openness and the
mm.
curiosity
Yeah.
literally is contemplation. So, being in
Yes.
that space with yourself is the answer.
Yeah. And and what we contemplate is so powerful.
Hmm.
I know for 28 years of my journey, and this would be the second most powerful moment of my life, I think,
Yeah.
was when I realized that 28 years of my spiritual journey had been focused on everything that I was doing wrong. All of my habits, all of my traumas, all of my failures. So I had been contemplating failure, and what
Hmm.
was showing up was failure, failure,
Yep.
failure, loss, grief,
You
abandonment.
would get any evidence for what you were looking
Oh,
for.
exactly, exactly. And I remember this moment really clearly. It was like 6:30 in the morning, standing at a bus stop in Maroubra, and I was dead flat broke. I was just living on the bones of my bum. And it was like I thought, why don't I now shift my attention and focus to everything that works in my life, everything that I've learned from 28 years of spiritual development, spiritual growth, everything I know about the divine presence. And that was a
Mm-hmm.
moment of absolute reorientation. So what we contemplate is so important.
Yeah.
Contemplate on the best parts of you.
Mm-hmm.
The shit will come. There's,
Yeah.
as sure as
Yeah.
anything. But focus on what you love. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on the place of love. Ask and be curious about, oh, how could I be more of that? Oh, I love that moment. Oh, I'd love more of those.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
I agree. I think
yeah.
the key to that in terms of the lens of contemplation that's supportive is that curiosity
Mm,
and
yeah.
presence.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, definitely.
I love that. Look and
Mm,
see, that's look where the conversation takes us is so special.
mm,
I can feel that there will be some people listening that will like really take a lot away from that. So thank you.
mm, mm,
Here we are. Now it's your turn. So we're in the third
mm,
segment, which is reflecting light.
mm.
So I'm curious, what question do you have for me, Julian?
Why do you do what you do?
Because I know that, and this is in alignment with some of the things we've talked about, I know that a majority of humans are not living in a world that they enjoy
Mm,
because there's more. And it's not a more as in success, it's not a more as in you need to be better, but there's more safety, there's more
mm,
joy, there's more comfort, there's more peace in the mind available than what most people understand. And I think that that's what drives me because there's so many parts of my experiences I look back and I'm like, how did I know not to stay stuck there? How did I know that there was more available, even in the depths of it all? And I've been through so much, but I see that as magic now, but that's because of the work I've done. And I don't hold that as any kind of trauma. Like it was an experience that moved me forward. But that's also because of the tools that became available to me, the tools I chose. And anyway, so I look back and I wonder in those deepest moments, like there was still a knowing that there is more available for us,
mm,
more curiosity, more space, more connection. And I still strive for that. And really, it's about I can't prove whether we have more lives than this one.
mm,
Can't prove that. I believe it, but I can't prove
mm,
it. On paper anyway.
mm.
But
I think, yeah, I
regardless
think,
of that, I think like
mm,
to me and through what I've been through, we get one in this body.
mm,
And I believe the purpose is to lead with love in whatever way is possible, but to have the best fucking time we can.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
I feel like without knowing it, a lot of people live like a robot and no, it's not their fault, but I want more for us.
mm,
So that's why I do what I do, but also
mm,
because I am wired to share what I learn. I'm
mm,
wired to experience the tools. And
mm,
then I want other people to know that too, and not with force. They come to me when they feel comfortable, but
mm,
or when they feel like they're, I'm not going to say fully ready, but at least some way ready.
mm,
Um, when they want that change within themselves too.
mm. What is the more that you talk of?
The more
Mm,
it is that safety, it is that joy, it is
mm,
the curiosity,
mm.
it's the spaciousness and peace. It's the absence of
Ooh,
constriction and resistance and avoidance and distraction and being unconscious. The
mm,
more is being conscious
mm,
and
oof,
being present
mm,
and really turning what we've been through into resilience and potent. attributes to our life.
And what opens up for people when they connect to that place?
More sense of themselves.
Mm.
A
And
better.
you said before about it doesn't mean more success. What did you mean
Mhm.
by that?
Well, I think I wanted to pre-frame that when some people view wanting more in the world, it's like more
Mm,
money or more
mm,
business or more this, that, and
mm,
it's like it's an accolade thing. And it doesn't mean that that isn't wonderful, but
mm.
that's not the lens in which I'm looking at.
Got it, got it, got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The more
Yeah,
is actually within self.
yeah,
The
yeah.
more is in the availability for love, for joy, for
Mm,
being authentic.
mm, mm. Yeah. It's a really interesting thing, I think it's about 2 years ago. And I was contemplating, it was around this time of year where we're sort of approaching a new year, end of one. And I was meditating and tuning in about, oh, what should I focus on next year? And it kept coming back, creativity, creativity. I was working on a one-man play, but I was also in a rather parlous situation financially. And so my head was saying, you need to focus on money. You need to focus on money. And my heart
Hmm.
saying, oh, develop your one man play, get into creativity, And I thought, oh no, that'd be really dumb. That'd be so stupid. I would like put all that time into that, and I won't be making money. So there was a bit of a wrestle went on for a little while. But in the end, I
Hmm.
thought, no, bugger it. I'm going to follow my heart. And so I did. I
Hmm.
dived into my one man play and I was really putting a focus on creative energy and everything else turned around
Yep.
because I was like exactly like you said, success is a byproduct. I don't aim to be successful anymore. I just fucking am. You
Hmm.
know, it's like
Yes.
I don't aim to have more money. I just aim to be the best that I can with the people who I'm working with and really refine what I'm good at.
Hmm.
And everything else looks after itself. So that and I think that's a really curious thing because you're right. I think again for many years I focused on being successful and the trappings of it and wondered why they weren't coming my way until I just thought, well, I'm just going to do me.
Hmm.
And
Do you
yeah.
think that part of that is because you were trying to do success, you're trying to make it look like something rather
Mm.
than feeling into what created that within you?
Oh, 100%. I was living for others. I was living to prove myself to others. It was a
Hmm.
worthiness thing. Um, and then, you know, kind of success has come, in the way I would kind of go, yeah, that's successful, has come late in life,
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
really has. And
Following your passion.
yeah, and realizing now, wow, I've learned so much. I know so much. And I know in terms of my commercial work, I can walk into a project and like turn it around
Hmm.
and put it on a path like where people go, holy moly, you
Mm.
know? And I get because that just comes down to experience
Hmm.
and well, that really just experience.
That and coming at it from that lens in which
Yeah,
you're being curious,
yeah.
you're really open to the creativity. But what I also hear for you is with that connection that you have with awe and wonder and gratitude and presence is
Mm.
you're letting in those moments that divine impulse come through you.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's spot on. That is absolutely spot on.
And
Yeah,
that's what was happening when you were like, I'm going to choose the play. That's what my heart's telling me. Like
yeah,
that's where the
yeah,
joy, but also the curiosity, the
yeah.
passion, that's where it
Mm,
is. And then
yeah.
life works around you because of that.
Yeah, that's so true, man. It's like, I've been on this journey for 51 years, spiritual inquiry, and I still feel like I know nothing. And love that.
Me too.
I love just going, I know nothing. It's just the most
Hmm.
wonderful, liberating thing. Go, oh, I don't know anything. I don't know
Yeah.
anything. I don't know how this stuff works. I have an inkling. I know like 1%, um, you know, and one of my favorite sayings, Buckminster Fuller said 99% of how the world works is invisible.
Mm,
and the Western world is so focused on the 1% rather than the 99%, you know.
agree.
Yeah,
Agree.
yeah, yeah. It's a mystery. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful mystery.
It
Yeah.
really is. And so I think this is a beautiful time to segue into y- sharing with others who are listening who maybe are curious.
Mm, mm.
With how do they connect with you and your work if that's feeling like it's sparking something in them?
Yeah. Look, I think probably directly through
Mm,
through my email.
yep.
Um,
And I'll pop
uh,
that in the show notes for people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's probably the best way because I'm in the process of really changing my focus.
Mm,
I'm sort of stepping away from the coaching and mentoring,
mm,
and I've started several new businesses myself and working on several really exciting projects. So I'm going to spend the next few years really focusing on those. But I'm
mm.
always happy to have a chat with
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
about where
cool.
they're going, what they're doing, and if I can help them in any way.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the ones who I'm happy to chat to anyone
Yeah.
actually, but the ones who I love chatting with are people who have a big vision
Hmm.
and who want to see create social impact, who want to see change in the world through business. My
Hmm.
kind of motto is a better world through business.
Hmm.
So businesses that are really out there doing good stuff. So yeah,
Indeed.
reach out via email. Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah, easy peasy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Julian, I really want to thank you so much for being here with us today and for being open to the kōrero and letting it
Mm,
flow.
mm,
And I have received and really felt you so much of what we've spoken to. And so I
mm,
know that it'll be true for others too.
mm,
And so for those who are listening, I really invite you to take a breath,
mm,
perhaps open up to that concept of contemplation, to
mm,
let what you heard settle in.
mm,
There's no need to do anything about it,
mm.
just lean in. And these insights aren't just stories, they're invitations. So, until next time, may you walk with awareness, speak with truth, and live in what lights you up. Thank you so much, Julian.
My pleasure. My great pleasure. Thanks so much, Joe.
Ciao.